Alright guys, so we just got done removing the headliner and now it's time to wrap it in suede. Got the suede material just off Amazon. This is foam backed, so less likely to get bleed through from the adhesive, and it just gives it a nice, more kind of plush feel. Got the headliner here, and now I'm just going to trim this out. I went ahead and gave myself a little extra room in the front. Shout out to Baby Turbo for the S2K coming sometime. But I left myself a little extra in the front because the curves on the headliner are more aggressive in the front. So I just wanted to give myself excess just so I can have a little more room to pull on it and everything. This material stretches a little bit, but it's not like elastic by any means. So this is first time doing this, so we'll kind of learn it as we go. But what I'll do now that I have it mapped out and everything, I'm going to start with the back of the headliner, and then I'll spray the adhesive along this, nice even coats overlapping, and then I'll also spray up here, but I'm only going to do small sections. Like I'll probably start with this back like foot section, and then I'll let that dry for, it says up to like 15 minutes I think on the can. And what we're actually using is the 3M headliner adhesive. There's a bunch of mixed reviews on adhesives that people use, the more pro stuff that you use with like a actual paint gun, and then just the can stuff. This one's specifically for headliners. There's also a couple different other 3M ones that you can get, but we're just going to go with that one, and we're going to take our time with it, let it set, let it tack up before we actually lay it on. Pretty much the longer that you wait to lay it down and let it tack up, the more tacky it'll become. So we'll probably wait 20 minutes in between. This says adhesive is aggressively tacky, 30 seconds to 15 minutes. We're gonna go at the top end of that just to be absolutely sure, because the last thing that we want to do is do all this work, do the Starlight headliner, and then have a sagging headliner. So we'll get to it. Alright, so got that sprayed, got this sprayed. Now we'll wait 15-20 minutes and then we'll start applying it. Once we do start applying it, one thing to do is, if you're doing it with bare hands, wash your hands. The material will soak up the oils and it can get matted down just like a suede steering wheel. So just to be a little extra cautious, just get the best finish. Wash your hands, put gloves on. You can use a scrap piece of the suede as kind of like a buffer between your hand and the headliner, and you can use that to kind of wipe it down and get it stuck. guys, so it's not the prettiest on the backside, but it doesn't need to be because it's all gonna be hidden and tucked away. But
working on a weekend like usual.
well, I'm gonna have to cut this one short. All right, had to pause the music, but everything's cut, tucked around. There was a couple spots that didn't want to stick. Definitely get 2 cans of adhesive spray. Barely had enough to cover most of it, but then I went through with some super glue and just on the corners and everything and just stiffened them up a little bit so they don't move. So let's flip this over. Definitely having a stretchier material would help, but it has just enough give to go around this. Hardest part, and you can't really tell in the camera, but with the headliner, this is the back portion, this is all flat, and then all this in here is recessed, and then it has another recess back here. So getting into these corners, you have to really push it in, and you want to feed the material in so there's less tension. But with this headliner, there's going to be some tension in certain spots, but from what I can feel and tell, there's no pockets anywhere. Everything is laid down, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. So there is the headliner wrap, and now the next thing that we're actually going to do is install the starlight kit into this now. So again, we'll see you in the next one.